Welcome to the Horizons Insurance YouTube channel. This is a continuation of our Insurance in Florida series, today with a very important topic and a very important guest. We're going to talk about Medicare. The reason why we're going to talk about Medicare is because the annual enrollment, open enrollment for Medicare is about to start on October 15th through December 7th. And I couldn't think of anybody else or anybody better than our guest, Pete Hoyek from Hoyek Financial. Pete is a very good friend of mine. He's my mentor in terms of Medicare. He's been in the insurance and financial business for about 30 years, and he specializes in the senior market, talking about Medicare, long-term care, investments, financial planning. And he's been in business for a while. He's got over 4,000 clients. And he is the expert on Medicare. Pete, how are you?
Thank you, Mauricio. It's very nice of you, kind of you. Appreciate that, and it's a pleasure to be, associate with you and a friend.
Thank you so much. So like I said, we're just gonna. The objective of this series is to educate the customers here in Florida about different topics of insurance. Today or this month, we decided to focus on Medicare since we do have the open enrollment coming up. So the open enrollment, just to confirm, it's going to start on October 15th through December 7th, correct?
Correct. Yes, Mauricio. As you know, every year, Medicare starts open enrollment October 15th till December 7th to take an effect on January 1st of the following year. Again, we can go outside the open enrollment period. We have a special enrollment period where people can enroll during the year without the open enrollment also. It depends on their health issue, if they have underlying condition, disease, for example, diabetes, heart problem. We have a special enrollment period for them. And there is another special enrollment period, as you know, there is some companies with 5 stars where people can enroll on a monthly basis every year without waiting to the open enrollment period. But for most general people, it is the open enrollment period. And right now we are coming on to it very, very soon.
Okay, excellent. So just to start, to make sure that we clear some confusion, because, that's what I see out there when I see clients is, so Medicare, Medicaid. So what's Medicare? Who can apply for Medicare?
Okay, as you know, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of confusion and a lot of misconception over the internet. As you know, Medicare is a run program by the government. It started in 1966, actually 1965 by President Lyndon Johnson, which took in effect in 1966. As you know, Medicare is government-run program. Everybody who worked 10 years equal to 40 quarters, they qualify for Medicare Part A and Part B. Now, for people, as you know, Part A, it's for hospital insurance. Part B, it's for medical insurance. And Medicare, has 2 parts, okay? There is a part run by the government and part run by the government and the state, which we call it Medicaid. So don't be confused on that. Again, there is state/government Medicaid. A lot of people do qualify for Medicaid, low-income people. And there is Medicare, where people pay into it all their lives through their payrolls, their taxes. Now, I'll go back again and explain to you. Medicare has 2 parts, Part A and Part B. Part A is for hospital. If you work 10 years equal to 40 quarters, you qualify for Part A. You don't pay a premium for it. But for people who don't pay for it, who don't qualify for Part A, they can buy into it. And it will cost them up to $471 per month. I have a lot of few clients here, like a couple dozen people who come from overseas who didn't work in here, but their kids bring them back here as their parents. So they buy into Medicare, they pay for Part A, and they pay for Part B. Part B will cost them additional $500, and they have to pay for Part D. So we are looking for almost $1,000 for people to buy into Medicare A and B. Now, if you qualify again for A, you get it free from the government. Part B is the hospital share of it. As you know, Medicare pay 80% of Part B, and people pay 20%. But the 20% could amount a lot of money. because nowadays one trip to the hospital, God forbid, for a heart operation, we've seen bills 100, 150,000, and do the math, 20% of that could bankrupt a lot of people. That's why we tell a lot of people, please, please be insured. Medicare is not enough. It is an insurance policy, but again, it's 80-20 is not enough. That's why, there is out there Medicare, plans, a lot of insurance company offer them, and we'll talk about that, of course, with the questions. Now, to go back for Part B, as you know, Part B, it's an 80-20 deal, and it has a deductible, which is a $203, deductible once a year. But Part B costs $148.50 per month. That's for people making $88,000 a year and less. Now, and it will go gradually. Now, if people make $500,000 plus, it will cost them, around $504.90, so almost $505 a month. So it will go gradually. Even for Part D, it's the same. If your income less than $88,000, Part D it's for prescription. To mention that, it could be free if you're under $88,000, but if you make $500,000 plus, it could go up to $77 and some change. So everything, as you know, one shoes doesn't fit all. So all your clients, they ask us the question, how much Part B cost? How much Part D cost? Really, it's hard really to tell them a general rules that cost you, hey, $148.90, 50 cents. We cannot do that. We have to know based on their income to advise them what's best. If they don't want to tell us that, of course, we have numbers we give them. Usually we have 1-800 number to Medicare, which I advise every agent to give their client. It's 1-800-633-4227. That's the 800 number to Medicare, or they can call Social Security office. It's 800-772-1213. Also for hearing impaired, for deaf, and hard hearing people, they can call number 877-486-2048. And nowadays, they have, we can advise the client who's hearing impaired, they have adapters they can buy to include in their iPhone, or if they use, other devices, they have adapters, it will help them with typing with the hearing impaired. So we can help all other clients in South Florida. And again, Medicare is government-run program. Medicaid, it's government and state-run program. And who qualify for Medicaid? There's a lot of people with low-income people who qualify for Medicaid. Again, they could qualify 100%, Mauricio, or they could qualify for a portion of it. There is a number they can consult, the state, call their state, and they will tell them if they qualify. Or usually they have a card from the state, it will tell them, hey, you are on Medicaid, and we can be able to insure them. To sum it up, everybody qualify for Part A if they work up. People with end-stage renal disease, they qualify for Part A, automatically. People disability 24 months, 2 years, they qualify for Part A, and B, I'm talking both. And you have to be age 65 and older, unless, of course, you are on disability or you have end-stage renal disease.
Okay, so that's good information. So in order to apply for Medicare, normally majority of the people are 65 years old and older, and or if they have the disabilities that you mentioned. So that's what it is. And then on top of that, the Medicaid is basically help for people that are with low income, and they get help if they qualify for that. Then they get the subsidies or credits from the state. And some of them, they have both, because they could be older than 65 and they could be in the low income side, so they can get both, which is called dual coverage, correct?
You're absolutely correct.
And in that case, like between both of them, the coverage is pretty comprehensive, and the cost could be as low as $0 per month for those people, right?
Absolutely. It can go from zero up to certain amount. It depends on how much help they need, and everything based on their income. And one advice I give a lot of people with low-income people, even if they get rejected this year, it does mean they don't accept it next year, because the government adjusts their base rate. They have a formula they use, and every year, as you know, with inflation, they go up. So everything does go up. Like I said, in 1966, when Medicare started, Medicare Part B used to be $3. believe it or not, $3, now $148.70. So on the average, it will go 7.7% a year. That's Medicare Part B. But for low-income people, again, this year they tell me, well, I may not qualify, maybe because of $1,000 or $2,000. Next year, hey, automatically qualification. So I advise everybody to really reapply for Medicare at least yearly if they get rejected. And I'm sure the state are becoming more lenient and more, to help, their residents.
Okay, so you mentioned, when people come to me, they are clueless, even though they get tons of garbage in the mail from companies with offers and the different types of Medicare. And also, they get in the mail, they see the advertisements on TV. So they bombard you with a lot of information. And instead of giving you more information, creates confusion. So you mentioned earlier, they have some tools. They can call the 1-800 Medicare number. They can call the Social Security office to get information. They can go to Medicare.gov, which is a great tool. They can go online and get all the information there. And lastly, and I think the most recommendable, in my opinion, is contact an agent that knows about Medicare, who can guide you through the whole process, give you instructions, and let you know which are the options, the different plans that you can choose from, and enroll in the best one that meets your needs, right?
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%, Mauricio. The agent, the trusted agent, is the #1 tool, because even if you give them the 800 number, which sometimes it does help, definitely the agent is the last resort. And again, qualified agent. There is a lot of misconception over there. There is a lot of mistrust people over there. Always, I tell the seniors, please check your agent, check his credentials, check with the state, make sure he's licensed, make sure he's liable. And especially a lot of misconception, as you know, a lot of Medicare Advantage every year come and go. And a lot of people ask, do I have to renew my plan? Is it automatically renewed? What can I do? Most of the plans are automatically renewed, but I always advise every client and every agent, please consult your client. And the client, please call your agent every year. Things change. One shoe doesn't fit all. Your doctor leaves a plan. Your doctor come into a plan. Sometimes like I call to a client and they tell me, Pete, my doctor is not on that plan, so I need to buy XYZ. When I buy XYZ next year, vice versa. So it's good really to keep in constant, like with your client, make sure you call them constantly, review their plan every year. If you need to change them, fine. If you don't need to change them, it's automatically renewed. And as you know, like I said, based on the statistic and based on congressional budget, Congress, half of the people, the seniors in the United States, by 2029, they will have Medicare Advantage. Can you imagine the confusion? A lot of people. So basically, they have three options, the people. Either Medicare Advantage, because it has HMO or PPO, or you have Medicare Supplement. What's the difference? People sometimes tell me, Pete, I'm confused.
That's a great question, because people are
well, as you know, confused. Medicare, go ahead.
No, that's a good point, because people usually are confused, like what's Medicare Advantage? What's Medicare Supplement? Is it the same? Is it not the same? So if you can clarify that for us, that would be great.
You're absolutely right. You see, Medicare Advantage, as you know, people call it MA. People call it Medicare Complete. People call it, Part Plan C. So they have all kinds of names for it. What's a C? I have people call me, what's a C? C basically is Medicare Complete. Complete starts with the letter C. It's very simple. Medicare Advantage, it contains Part A, contains Part B, and it contains medication. And most all those plans are run by the government. Okay, that's what we're talking about open enrollment right now. You can buy either HMO or PPO. HMO usually have lower deductibles, okay, and lower co-payments. And of course, they have lower net worth. And you need a referral by most HMOs, okay? That's a part of Medicare Advantage. Now you have a PPOs and a Medicare Advantage. Of course, it has a higher co-payment, a higher deductible. We call it like co-insurance, maximum out-of-pocket a year. And also it has a wider network. That's a PPO. And those usually have no monthly premium, okay? Because usually those are run by the insurance company in contract with the government under Medicare Advantage. That's why the government puts open enrollment every year between October 15, December 7, because you can switch from an HMO to PPO and vice versa with different companies with no pre-existing condition. And here what it comes the tricky part, and a lot of clients don't know that. I have many clients now, they start calling me, believe me or not. Hey, Pete, I'm in a hospital. God forbid I have cancer. I have this, I have that. I want to buy Medicare supplement.
Okay.
Say, hold on, wait a second. Now there is a pre-existing condition. People start screaming, what you talking about? As we see on TV, government said no pre-existing condition. It is true to the fact. If you have Medicare Advantage, there will be no pre-existing condition if you switch from company to another or from HMO to PPO in the open enrollment. But Medicare Supplement is an insurance program which is run by an insurance company independent, okay, from Medicare. Yes, it is to supplement what Medicare leaves off, because as you know, Medicare leave off 20% and some, deductible and so forth. Medicare Supplement runs by insurance company. It costs monthly premium. It depends. Usually Medicare supplements, they run between $3,000 to $4,000 a year. But again, it's 100% a program, okay? In the long run, Medicare supplement could be better, but that's how we have to evaluate our client. We have to go one-on-one. For people who have low income, people cannot afford $300 to $400 a month. Of course, we have to help them. We have to give them the option between HMO and PPO and so forth. But for people who travel all over the country or all over the world, HMO and PPO could not be the right answer for them. Right. Because as you know, sometimes we have a local PPO or local HMO. If you go out of state, of course, it covers you for emergency room only. But then you're out of luck. You have to get permission. You have to come back to the state and so forth. So please be very careful. And I tell all my clients, the best resource is your trusted agent. All you have to do is call Mauricio, call XYZ, call Pete. We're here to help. We're here to assist. Like me, believe me, if I tell you I have over 4,000 clients, I have a workforce who just every year, we go to assist our client, not to be able to sell them. So when we get the client, we have to be able to assist them for every year we go on, because things do change. And that's how we keep our client, and that's how we keep our reputation. And I do advise you, Mauricio, too, and like every other agent, and advise myself, sometimes it's not good to have only one company, especially with our senior market, because we have fiduciary, responsibility to our client. Okay, like we go, if they don't take this company and we have only one company, we have to push that company. For that client is not good. So it is recommended to have a few reputable companies in the area, and they can choose from as long as we explain for them into detail.
That's a perfect point. So just to finalize on that point, so there are so many companies out there for Medicare. Once you determine, you want to go with the Medicare Advantage, which is lower cost, HMO, PPO, more limited network, or if you decide to go with supplemental, which is more comprehensive coverage nationwide, usually no network. Once you decide those two, there are many companies within each of the options. So how do you determine which is the best company to go with?
When I sit with a client, of course, I have to ask them their doctors, okay, their affordability. Always, as you know, I go with the best. I believe in Medicare Supplement. I believe the freedom, to choose. I believe like a free birds, I can land anywhere in the country. Okay, there is no network to give them. And in the long run, Medicare Supplement, as you know, it is cheaper. Even if it costs $4,000 a year, God forbid if they get sick, that's all they're gonna pay. Where Medicare, if they have a PPO, if they have out-of-pocket $6,700, for example, it ends up costing them more, and they cannot go back on supplemental because they have pre-existing condition. So that's how I determine sometimes when I sit to the client, how to help them choose affordability, to see if they travel a lot or outside of the area, or to see if their doctor on the network, if they like to stay with their doctor or not stay with their doctor. And based, of course, on their family, if they're involved, they have a husband and wife, and makes the family involved too, in their decision, because that's very important, because decision to last them for a long time. but it is my job as an agent to assist them. And believe me, I never leave the house unless they understand fully and completely what I'm talking to them. Because actually, when we're talking to you, as you know, Mauricio, 80% we say in the household, by time we leave, 80% is lost. They forget about it.
Right.
Okay. That's why I'm a firm believer. Whatever I talk to seniors, I like to put everything in writing.
Right.
I like to show them. Like, for example, $20 for regular doctor, $50 for specialist. I write it down for them. I let them visualize it, because visualizing is very, very important for seniors. As you know, we are getting older. We're going to forget. Sometimes I forget what is my keys. It doesn't mean there's something wrong, not at all. But, that's life. That's why I believe in every agent, please put everything in black and white for your client, put him in writing. And that is something that just come to my mind. I would like to advise every agent to do for our client. A lot of people don't do it because I've seen it in the past 30 years in my experience. Every client of mine, I will ask them to download or call Medicare to download it called Authorization to Disclose Personal Health Information to their loved one. This is it's form 10106 form. It's a PDF file. They have to download it, they have to sign it, and they have to mail it. It cannot be done over online. Okay, they can do it for Medicare and they can do it for Social Security. It's called Authorization Consent Form. Why? Because I've seen it. One husband or wife laying in a hospital, they call me as an agent, they have questions. Sometimes if they have Medicare Advantage, I cannot call on their behalf because, there is a HIPAA rules, as you know, privacy rules. So even their wife, sometimes when she called Medicare and she called Social Security, they hang up on her. Hey, we're not allowed to talk to you. We don't have authorization form. So what I started doing a few years ago, because it happened to me and to my client, I downloaded all the forms. I give to every client of mine. I ask them to sign it. They can name each other. They can name their children, their friends. They can even name you as an agent to be able to help them in case one time, God forbid, in a hospital, they cannot communicate, because the family members need to know, well, how much I'm going to pay, how much he's going to get on Social Security, what they can afford, and so forth. So this is very important form to download for every seniors. Even under age 65, I still recommend for anybody to get the consent form authorization, download it, sign it, send it, and it will last you for the rest of your life. When you do it once, it's done.
Excellent. No, that's perfect. So Pete, to summarize, you've been very kind with your time, by the way. So basically, as we can tell, based on this conversation, Medicare is a very complicated subject, and it affects something that's very important to everybody, especially when you're older. It's your health. So it is a very important decision to make. And it's not worth going at it by yourself. You definitely have to consult with someone that knows the market, that knows what the options are. And, I've seen it when people try to call Social Security office or Medicare, those people are not helpful at all. If anything, they leave you more confused than what you were, than how you were before the call. So I advise everybody to, contact an agent, contact Pete, contact Horizons, contact any agent of your preference, but definitely don't go it alone because it is very complicated. We make it easier for you, and we try to explain everything in simple details, everything based on your needs, medical needs, financial needs, and we present it to you the right way. It's a very important decision. And again, the open enrollment for 2022 is coming up. So take advantage of that. Make sure your plan is currently meeting your needs. And if it's not, then this is the time to make changes to it, right?
Absolutely, Mauricio, you hit it right on the button. You're absolutely correct. Even as you know, the open enrollment approaching right now, and we have to close to a month and a half. But this is not the end of it. We have an open enrollment almost all year long. We have a special enrollment period. We have people who have a question. We have people who stuck for the whole year because they made the wrong decision on their own. And they believe sometimes, as you know, many advertisements on TV, it's misleading. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. There is no such thing as zero, as you know. It'll end up costing them arms and legs. It end up costing them their life. sometimes, because they cannot wait like 2, 3 months, 4 months if they diagnosed with cancer to get some, type of, diagnostic or blood work or to see a doctor. That's why, please, it's very important to tell every client, decision you make, it's a life and death decision. It's not only financial decision, it's your life decision. Because when people at age 65, as you know, they tend to retire after that. Some of them could wait to 70, it's okay. But it is their life retirement, it is their health, and it's for their loved ones too, as you know. Because sometimes if people are sick, we worry about their wife, about their spouse. They're the one who suffer at the end too. That's why I recommend that please, when you call every agent in an open enrollment, go into detail, trust your agent. Your agent knows. If you know your agent from year to year, you have to give a credit, and you have to listen to your agent sometimes if he has the best interest, of course, for you. And people can tell, okay? And Medicare is sum it up, is very, very complicated. Even today, as you know, as agent, and a lot of clients don't know that, every year we have to go to pre-certification. We have to go for like many hours to sit and take tests with every company and to learn the new product. So it is not easy for us to understand. We are agent, we are experienced. Can you imagine the clients? They cannot do that. They cannot go to every policy every company has, right, which we do. That's why as us as agent, it is important for us to educate them well, make a right decision. And I believe at the end, we both win.
An important thing to mention is that help costs them nothing, zero. So it's the same thing if they go it alone or if they go to an agent like us, it costs them zero. And you're going to have, our expertise and our knowledge to make the best decision possible for their health.
It is funny, Mauricio, I don't like comparing us as agent, professional agent compared to other industry. But ask any client, ask yourself, I ask myself, if I call an electrician to my house or a plumber or anything, automatically they tell me $150, whether you have something wrong or not.
That's right.
So they charge a fee. We still the only people in the industry who offer free help to our client. And sometimes they resist because they believe, hey, wait a second, it's catch-22, what you're trying to do. But we have to educate them. Look, we are here to educate you. You're under no obligation. Fine, if there is business there, we like to have your business and earn your trust. But if there is no business there, at least I'd educate you, and at least you can refer me to your friends and family members. And that's why I'm very proud to say in our profession, I believe profession, me and you, I love helping people. That's my main priority in life, to help people, whether they buy or not, because it's very rewarding at the end, Mauricio. And I'm sure you agree to that.
I couldn't agree more. Yes, Pete, very well said. So Pete, like always, you've been great. Thank you so much for your time. You continue to be my trusted advisor and mentor when it comes to Medicare. And let's continue our mission in life and continue to help our clients, to the best extent possible.
Absolutely. So, the conversation will keep coming every year, and I'm sure we're here many years to come. Thank you very much, and good luck, and good luck to all our clients. And we are here to help. We promise.
Thank you, Pete. Great to see you. Take care. Bye.